Hi there. Here I am, still in South Texas. I'm going to be in South Texas for another like 5-6 weeks, but I wanted to catch you up as best as I could, and it's not possible to tell you everything that's happened because wow, just so much is happening every single day. It's been a wild ride, so wonderful, so amazing. But I am in a place where I want to show you the landscape because then you will get a better idea when I tell the story about the tent. Let me show you this. This is what I've been looking at for a while. See in the distance the windmills? They got a lot of wind farms here because there's a lot of wind to farm. And you see, this is actually, I have discovered that if, for example, if a car is coming down the road and this is 60 miles per hour, I can wait about 5 minutes from the time that I see the car until the car gets to me. That is, the visibility is like 3 miles, I think, roughly. So let me tell you the story. I left Kingsville, and as I was walking, I met so many lovely people, like one after the other, so kind, so lovely. It was just amazing. And I went into this little town of Bishop, and I had to go to the bathroom. And so I went into the store, and I came out, and people had left me like a hat and gloves. People were giving me so much food, so much love. It was amazing. And after Bishop, I went out of town, and the area where I thought I was going to camp, it turned out there was no trees there. Like, I thought there would be some trees, but there were none. And I realized that it was all people's land, and I was going to have to ask permission to pitch the tent. And so I maybe had met, let's say conservatively, 40 to 50 people that day that had given me love. So then I went knocking on doors. I went to this one man's house and knocked on his door and asked, could I camp in the front area? He had this kind of very, very large, probably 5-acre front yard. And he said, no. And so then I went to the next house, and as I was approaching the house, there were two gentlemen out on the front porch talking, and saw me coming. And as I got about 15 feet, the gentleman that owned the house went in the house and slammed the door, and apparently called the police. And it was very interesting. So I was stuck. So I turned around and I went back to where I had seen a grassy field, and I just started pitching the tent because at that point it was really late. It was getting really late. It was getting dark, and I was in a hurry, and it was really cold, really, really cold, and wet, and just miserable. And after I got the tent pitched and got in the tent, I heard some people come, a couple of gentlemen. I couldn't see them, I was in the tent, but laughing, and they wouldn't answer me. I kept saying, hello, hello. They were right outside my tent, but they wouldn't answer. And I watched my mind. It was fascinating. Now, here we can contrast. I had 40 to 50 beautiful, beautiful interactions during that day, and 3 not such beautiful interactions. And I noticed that my mind wanted to focus on the negative. I was really caught up in like irritation that they had called the police on me. I mean, come on, give me a break, you know. And then that they wouldn't let me camp on pitch my tent on the lawn, etc. But then, I had a little bit of compassion, but I kind of realized that it was ridiculous for me to focus on the 3 people that I'd had negative experiences with when I'd had such a predominance of positive experiences. But that's the way the mind works. But we can choose. We can choose what thoughts we want to have. And I can choose to put that into perspective. So while I had been setting up the tent, I had ripped it a little bit. It really is almost, it really was at the end of its lifespan. It had served me really well. And when I got in the tent and I had cooked supper, I had to cook supper in the tent because I had no shelter. It was very hot. And the stove tipped over and burned a little hole in the heat of the middle of the stove, burned a little hole in the floor. So I realized, okay, very soon I'm going to need a new tent. And I decided to refocus my thoughts on the appreciation, on gratitude. So I started to reminisce about all of the nights that I've spent in this tent and all of the places that I had been and the beautiful camping that I had seen and experienced. experienced and how grateful I was for it, and how that tent had kept me warm and dry so often. It just been amazing for me. This little North Face tent that I used, and the next morning, people started waking me up bright and early in the morning to bring me coffee, to bring me breakfast, to say hello. It was just extraordinary, one person after another. And one of the women who came said, nice tent. And I said, well, yeah, I ripped it last night, and I know that I have to let it go, and I have to get a new tent. And she said, well, I have a bunch of tents, and you can have one. And I said, well, I really need a specific tent, because this is hardcore camping. This is not, you can't just use any tent. This is very hardcore. And I said, well, thank you, but it's, it's got I got a lot of specifics I need. And she said, well, I'll go home and take a picture of the tents I have and let you know what I've got. So just before I was taking down camp, she sent me a picture of some tents, and I said, well, not really. I can't really. They're not ideal. And thank you anyway. And so I'm taking down the tent. I'm packing up the camp. And I got the last stake out of the tent, and I had my hand on it, and a big wind came up and ripped it out of my hand, and it started to roll like a giant tumbleweed, and it just rolled away. And I ran after it, and I shouted, no, at first, because it was my tent, I gotta have that, I gotta have shelter. And it just rolled away and just kept going. And as you can see, it's like 3-mile visibility. I watched that sucker just blow away, just rolling. It's on its own journey now. It was waving goodbye. It was amazing. So imagine, I actually had spoken to somebody who had some tents. So I was able to respond to her and say, you know what, can I borrow one of those tents? My tent just blew away. And then the neighbors, oh my God, the neighbors had been so kind. They had brought me coffee, they brought me breakfast, and then later they brought me carrot cake, which I ate for like 3 days. It was so delicious. They came and they said, we've got a tent too. We saw your tent blew away. So amazing kindness, amazing generosity. And yet, I just think that it was completely hysterical. I was given an opportunity to have gratitude for that tent. I was given time to say goodbye. And then, the infinite loving consciousness of God said, okay, you're done with this tent. We know you're having a hard time letting it go, so we're going to take it away. And really, I really feel like it went on its own journey. I mean, it's probably still rolling, and maybe it's like on the other, it's in western Texas now, I don't know. There's no end to where it could go. And then the amazing thing is that so many people had been kind and generous. I now am in a position to buy a new tent. I haven't found the tent I need, but I have what I need to do that. And I have to tell you, Texas has just been amazing with love. There's just so many stories, just so many. There's no way, I don't have the bandwidth to upload them all on this phone, nor do you have the time to hear them all, but in time we'll share so many more. There's so many more stories. I'm having such an amazing experience. And yes, it gets hard, and the harder it gets, the less it bothers me, and the more I feel completely comfortable no matter what is happening. And I'm not stressed, I'm not worried, I'm not upset at all about the weather. I am just getting like to be Hercules. I've been walking around singing that song, I am Superman, I can do anything, as I walk. Having a blast. Love you. More to come. Be well. Much love.